What's up, my kings, queens, and trolls of YouTube? This is your girl, Queen C, with my third installment. Now, you guys already have gotten the leaving and cleaving part. Remember, your parents raised you, they provided a life for you, and now you have to continue that life on your own. You find somebody, you cleave to them, you do the same thing for your children, and the circle of life continues. Now, let's get to the meat of this shit, okay? A lot of y'all want to know who comes first. Do your parents come first? Your spouse come first? Your kids come first? Now, I've seen so many videos and so many responses about this on social media, and it's like I see women talk about something. Can't nobody tell me nothing. My kids come first. Blah, 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 blah. And they be snapping and waving their fingers, shaking their neck and rolling around like that's going to make it any more valid. No, it doesn't make it valid, okay? Guys be like, don't know bitches come before my kids and da-da-da-da-da-da-da. And ain't nobody coming before my moms and blah, blah, blah. Yeah, okay, that sounds good. Now, my question to y'all is, how's that working for you? How's your relationships doing? Yeah, okay. Let me tell you something. Your spouse comes first. Why does your spouse come first? Because that is the person that you are destined to spend the rest of your life with. That's the person that you chose to build a life with, have children with, and be your life partner, okay? Now, here's the thing. You cannot build a life with your parents or your mom, okay? You cannot build a life with your children, okay? Your children are going to build their life with somebody else. Your parents should have built their life with somebody else, or should be, in a relationship working towards that if something happened and it didn't work out. But you are meant to build your life with the person you choose. That person is supposed to be with you through thick and thin. When your parents go on in the afterlife, when your kids go on and build their life, your spouse is supposed to be the one that's standing next to you through all of this. Now, when you have a spouse and you're putting them first, that does not mean that you're neglecting your children. I don't know why people take putting your spouse first out of context like that. You're not putting somebody above your children per se, because a good man and a good woman, they have common sense and they know damn well children cannot fend for themselves. So putting your spouse first does not mean you're going to neglect your children. When you put your spouse first, that means you support them, you help them, and you help take care of each other so you can take care of your kids. You can provide for your kids, okay? You're helping each other, you're supporting each other, and you're doing what you got to do to make sure that you both can provide a good life for your children, that they're in a healthy environment, that they're safe, secure, fed, clothed, all of that. That's what good men and good women do. It's not a choice over somebody. It's a choice to join together and help support, raise, and maintain your babies, okay? That's what it means when they say you put your spouse first over your children. Not all that you going to take care of your man or your woman and make sure they got this and make sure they got that, but your kids don't have shit. That's not what it means. That's not what it means. No good man and no good woman will make you neglect your child for nothing, okay? Now, your spouse, when your kids leave, that's who you're still going to have, okay? Now, I know people sit up there and say, oh, well, you can get divorced, you can get this, but my kids will be my kids forever. My parents will be my parents forever. Yes, your kids will always be your kids and your parents will always be your parents. But if you do shit right, your spouse will also always be your spouse. If you treat your spouse right, if you treat your spouse right and you take care of them and you put them first and you make them your best friend, there's no reason why you can't have a good marriage. Marriage is not just a piece of paper that you sign. Marriage is work. It is work. Work. Yes, it's work, okay? Let me be the first to tell you. You have to put time, energy, commitment. Marriage is work, okay? But it's one of the best paying jobs ever. You put work towards your marriage, you have a fulfilling marriage. You have a great relationship. You love each other. It's fun. It's exciting. But you have to put work in. You can't just expect for it to just always heal itself or keep itself going. It takes two individuals to be on the same page and work towards having a healthy, happy, successful marriage. And there's people out there that do it. The only issue with today in 2016 is people get divorced so quick that they don't try to work it out. You know what I mean? You can work past anything. The only thing that I don't suggest anybody work past is abuse. If you getting your ass whooped in a marriage, your kids is being abused and hurt and molested or all that kind of stuff by their dad or their mom or whatever the case may be, get the fuck out. Get your kids and you get the fuck out of it. Divorce. Definitely divorce. But now I'm gonna tell y'all this. Other people, to each is their own. I can't help what you choose to do. I'm not sticking around for nobody cheating on me. I cannot work through, infidelity. That's a deal breaker for me. I'm sure it's a deal breaker for a lot of men. Some women it's not a deal breaker for. For me, it's a deal breaker. I gots to go. All right? Plain and simple. I'll never be able to forget about it. My man could be sitting there eating a bowl of Rice Krispies and I could look at him and just, he's minding his business eating. And then the next thing I think about the fact that he had his hands all over some other woman and bam, I slapped a snap, crackle, and pop right out of his ass. And he don't know why I even did it. Just because I had a flashback of him cheating on me. So I'm not even going to lie and sit here and say that I will work through a marriage after, my man cheats on me. Can't do that. Queen C got to be the only queen, okay? Can't be no side peasants or nothing like that. I got to be the only one, all right? But, like I said, marriage is work. It's something that you have to constantly tend to. It's your garden. You want it to bloom beautiful flowers, then you got to fertilize it and water it, okay? Definitely. So back to, your spouse coming first. A lot of people don't like to believe that. But when you have a good spouse and you're doing what you're supposed to as a man or a woman, you don't have a lot of things to worry about. Like people be like, oh, well, I'm in this situation where my mother and my wife, they're not getting along. Or I'm in a situation to where my father and my husband, they're not getting along. That's because you haven't set boundaries. You haven't made it clear that your spouse comes first. You haven't made it clear that you're going to always stand by your spouse's side. Now, if you have a good spouse, your spouse wants peace. Your spouse wants peace. Your spouse isn't going to ask you to choose between them and somebody else. They shouldn't have to, because it should already be made clear to everybody that your spouse comes first. And I guarantee you, those of you that have not done that are the ones that have problems. And guess what? Your girl Queen C was not exempt. Okay? My spouse did not do that from the beginning. He did not do that. Therefore, we had a lot of problems. Okay? He got it because we still together. So he got it, because if he hadn't got it, it was going to be more than peace from the Sea Hive. It was going to be peace, period. So he did get it. But because you don't make that clear, people tend to think that their position trumps another position. They're not used to being put first by their own spouses. They're not used to having a good, happy, healthy marriage. So they don't understand order. They don't understand the order. They don't understand that the spouse is supposed to come first, because a lot of times some spouses aren't putting their spouse first. So since their spouse doesn't do it, they don't expect for yours to do it. But that's the thing. As soon as the man and woman stand up and declare their spouse comes first, it eliminates a lot of bullshit. Now, a lot of people, a lot of men and women, when their spouse has problems with, their family, their in-laws, a lot of y'all like to tuck y'all's tail between y'all's legs and act like y'all don't see what the fuck is going on. And that's why you have problems with trust. That's why your spouse don't feel good about you. And that's why, you probably ain't as intimate as you could be. It creates a lot of problems. And it's not for your spouse and your family to hash nothing out. You are the mediator in the bullshit that goes on between your spouse and your in-laws, I mean your family, you're the mediator. You need to go and talk to your parents, friends, or relatives about being respectful to your spouse. If there's an issue going on, you support your spouse. If you don't agree with your spouse, y'all talk it out amongst yourselves. You don't go and throw your spouse under the bus and tell your family, well, he said this or she said that and blah, blah, blah. I don't agree with it. I don't like it. You don't do that, because that caused division. You and your spouse are supposed to become a united front, and that's how you always present yourself. Whatever y'all don't agree with at home, that's between y'all. But when you walk out the door and you approach other people, you present a united front, and you always mediate, because guess what? Your family and your friends, they love you. They love you. They love you unconditionally. So they'll forgive you quicker than they will your spouse. But if you let it get too bad and your spouse starts lashing out because you're not standing up for him or her, then they're going to get mad at him or her, and they're not going to forgive them. They're not going to be as forgiving to them as they are to you. So that's why you have to handle it. Now, there's going to be more on this subject because this shit is deep, but that's all the time I got for today. So I will see you with my next video. If you have any questions, you can email me at queenkrishanda@gmail.com. Until next time, peace.